Hello, class. Good evening. A lot of people had trouble with this 6-1 coding discussion assignment. So um, I wanted just to make a quick 5 or 10 minute video to show you how I could do it. I did it just to verify that I had it working. So then I undid all of my bug fixes. So we're going to start clean. Now, one thing I want to point out is, I took the code from here in your instructions for Module 6 coding discussion instructions. And I just copied it and then pasted it in over here in the VDI. Now, but before I pasted it in, obviously, I created a new console app. And if you're good about reading instructions, as I am not, you would know to make the name of your new console app classes. I didn't do that. I just took the default console app 1. And so what I had to do, and what you will have to do if that's what you did, is go up here and change this namespace. You see the namespace over here is classes. That tells us that that's what they expect the project or solution name to be. And so since it is not in my case, I had to go over here and change classes to console app 1 for the namespace. Some of the errors I saw indicate that that's probably what's getting you in some cases, because if you had everything else fixed and you still getting a compile error, chances are that could be it. Okay, well, let's take a look now. As I said, I put back all the bugs so we can fix them together. And let's just run it. Let me do a clean and attempt to do a rebuild. And of course, it's not going to work. So right away you can see, okay, it expected a semicolon here on line 9. So let's double click that, go up to line 9, take a look at it. Okay, there is a semicolon there. So what could it be telling us? What's really wrong? And here it is. There's no such thing as another point. It's new again. So new point. So that takes care of that one. I think that one's already disappeared from the error list. So now point member names cannot be same as their enclosing type. And so what that's telling us is because it has a return type, it doesn't realize that it's a constructor. It thinks you're trying to make another normal method with the same name as the class. And the only methods that can have the same name as the class, and in fact must have the same names as the class, are the constructors, a very special type of method that returns an instance of the class, an object of the class. So let's go ahead and remove that return type. Save that. Okay, so that one disappeared. Now distance to is inaccessible, and we'll click on that. Right, it takes us to the attempt to call origin distance to. So if we go down here and look at distance to, we see it's private. So it has to be public, or else you can't call it from up in the program class. You can't see it. So that fixed that. And now return object count. Okay, it can't see. It says there an object reference is required for this non-static field. So see, we're in a static method here, so we can really only deal with static variables. So object count up here needs to be static. And that takes care of that. That is all of the syntax errors. So let's run it and see if we have any logic errors. Now you do understand the difference. There are basically two types of errors. There's syntax error and a logic error. The syntax errors, you'll have to deal with those first because what is this? If you have syntax errors, your code won't compile. So you can't run it at that point to then go on and see if you have logic errors. So you got to fix all the syntax errors first, which we've done. So now the job is to run it and see if our output is correct. If it is, then it's unlikely that we have any logic errors, assuming that our test here is exercising all paths. We'll talk about that soon, about unit testing. But this should be sufficient, so let's run it. And here it is. Distance to is 1568.45, etc. Number of point objects is 2, and that should be correct because we saw up here we're instantiating two objects of the point class. So that should be good. Now where's my... Let's just verify, though, that that's the output they want. 1568.45, number of point objects 2. So that looks good. That looks good. So that's basically, that's the debugging job. Now, I'll bet you that what a lot of you did was create a new console app and paste this in, but you didn't notice that the namespace that you pasted in is classes. And if you didn't name your new console app classes, it's never going to work unless you go in and change your namespace to the name of the solution and project. So that's it. Let's go through those again. I went through those rather quickly. Of course, you can, that's the beauty of a video, you can run this back and watch it again and stop it and go fix your code, start it again, etc. So we had, this was another, and it should be new, so we fixed that. That cleared up an error. And then distance 2, our attempt to read that failed because distance 2 was private. We changed it to public. Then object count, the static method object count is trying to return a static variable called object count, but object count, the variable, wasn't designated static, so we fixed that. And it has to be static for this counter to work. If it's a member variable, it's not static, then it's going to be 1, no matter how many times you run it. As soon as you read it, you're just going to get a 1. So this way it actually accumulates every time you make a new point object, because it doesn't live within an instance of the class, it lives within the class itself. So that's it. I think there was one other error, but you'll if you use this debugging capability here, like I did, just uh, load it up, try to compile it. When it doesn't build, you'll see the errors down here in red. You click on it, it'll take you right to the line number, and I think only in this case here did it. See, it didn't take us to the line number here where we needed to actually fix something. But based on what we see here, we know that inside the origin, inside the point class, and origin is an object of point. So inside the point class, we know that there should be a method called distance2 that we can't see from up in the program class. So we go down here and look at it, and sure enough, it was private. And as I said, I don't recall right now what the other bug was. There were 4 bugs that we fixed, and those were the big ones. So anyway, just if you need to, watch this as many times as you need to. But if you haven't submitted your work yet, please go ahead and use this video to get it done, and then just be sure to write up a good, healthy couple of narratives and reply to some other students, with something that's relevant to something that they said, something that clarifies a point that they brought up, and something that's encouraging to the other student. You do that, and you're 100%. You do all of that. So please get this work in. There's still time. It might be a little late penalty, but that's a small penalty is better than nothing. I mean, you got to get this work in, and if you're struggling, send me your code early in the week, and I'll definitely take a look at it and get it back to you. It probably wouldn't take me 5 minutes to spot what your problem is, and typically it's going to be something like this namespace. If you're struggling, you fixed all the obvious bugs, but it still won't build. It's probably something like that. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up and get this video posted, and obviously I won't post the fixed code, but you should be able to do it from this video. Thank you, and good luck on this assignment, and please reach out. The sooner the better. Good night.